Hey guys, it's Tori. So today I'm going to be doing my first ever TBR and monthly wrap-up video. So today we are doing my January reading wrap-up and my February TBR. I figured it would make the most sense to just combine the two together. So without further ado, make sure you check out all my socials down below, like, comment, and subscribe to my face, and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to go in order of my January reading wrap-up. So I'm going to try and go in order of what I read. I'm going to do my best to remember what I read first, second, and so on and so forth. So overall, I read 8 books this month. I am 18% through my Goodreads goal of 45 books for the year. Hopefully I can surpass it. Fingers crossed, we'll find out. So let's just get on into what books I read, and I am going to pull up my Goodreads so that I can see what I rated each book. Okay, so the first book I read this year was A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the ACOTAR series. This was absolutely 1000% a 5-star read. I literally loved this book so much. I cannot wait to continue the series. Alexia has been bothering me to continue reading so that her and I can be on the same level because she did read the 3rd book already. But wow, I love this series so much. It is literally so good. It had some slow burn, some good romance, amazing fantasy. It left off on a cliffhanger, so I cannot wait to continue the series, but this is worth every single second. It did have a bit of a slow start, but the rest of it literally made up for the beginning being a little bit slow. So I loved this. I was obsessed with it. Go read ACOTAR if you have not already. The next book I read on my Kindle. This is my Kindle. She's so cute. I have this really cute case on her, and I literally love my Kindle so much. This was such an amazing gift. I love it so much. So I read Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry on my Kindle. It was the first book I ever read on there, and I literally read this in like 3 days. I sped through it. Reading on your Kindle makes things go so much faster. I rated Indigo Ridge 5 stars. I loved it so much. Honestly, I had a pretty good reading month in January. I found so many good 5-star books, but I was obsessed with it, and I cannot wait to finish reading the series. The next physical book I read was Addicted to You, and I did post a reading vlog for this, so make sure you go check that out if you have not already. This book I gave 4 stars. This took me less than 2 days to read. Granted, I was reading it for a video, but I really did enjoy it. It's 4.25 stars for me. I didn't love it as much as a lot of people do, but I have heard that the series gets better and better as you read it. Keep in mind, it can be very hard to find these books right now because they are redoing the covers, and so it's very hard to find the physical copies of these, but I really did enjoy it, and I'm very excited to continue the series and see what more happens between the core 6, I think. I'm very excited to see what happens. The next book is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This and the next multiple I read were for a video as well. They were from my last video, which is Book Influencers Pick My Books for a Week. This I gave 5 stars. I read this in one sitting, absolutely devoured it, loved every second of it. I recommend this so much. It was so good. I could not recommend a YA book more. This was so wholesome, so cute. It's about Liz and Wes, and they basically are childhood friends, then enemies, then lovers. It was so good. Literally absolutely obsessed with this, and I definitely need to read more by Lynn Painter for sure. The next book is Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. This was also recommended to me for a video I was doing. 5 stars, 1000%. This is a college romance, and then they become like lovers to strangers back to lovers. I can never remember the name of characters, but they met in college, they fell in love, and then one day the guy goes off for like an internship, and then they lose contact for some reason. They don't know what happened. Neither of them really knows why they don't talk anymore. and then 15 years later they rekindle, and you find out what happened in those 15 years that they were apart. And I loved this. Literally so good. Definitely recommend. 5 stars, easy, just obsessed. This was so good. There's so many good quotes in here too. I literally underlined so many amazing quotes in here. Loved it so much. Okay, so the next book, you definitely need to go watch my last video to see my reactions to this book, but it is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. This, I think, is my top read ever. It might go back and forth between this and ACOTAR at certain days, but God, did this book change my life. 5 million stars. Like, if I could give 5 million stars to a book, it would be this one. I loved the characters, the drama, the romance. It was heartbreaking. It was happy. It made me feel giddy. I bawled my eyes out. You have to go watch my last video to see me read this. Oh my god, if I could recommend one book for the rest of my life, it'd be this book. So good. Also, the cover is beautiful. Sorry for the glare. It's from my ring light. But, oh my god, I could not recommend this book more. My Goodreads review says 10 stars, absolutely heartbreaking, made me feel so giddy. Noah Riley is the book boyfriend of all book boyfriends. A must read. And I still stand by that. Noah Riley is just the man of all men. And I actually just ordered a Say You Swear hoodie because I love it that much. So I want to plaster it on my body and show the whole world how amazing it is. So 1000% recommend this. Just love it. Love it so much. Like, obsessed with the whole book. Megan Brandy is a genius for this book. Okay, so the next book I read was Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Don't kill me, but this is a 3.75 stars at best for me personally. I know a lot of people love this book, but I just am not one of them. I don't get the hype. I'm not obsessed with the characters. I don't love it. I thought it was okay. It was very drama filled, very annoying almost. I really wish there would have been more romance in it, and I'm very angry at Magnolia for some of the things that she did, and BJ can absolutely just screw off because he did some messed up stuff. And the ending to this book made me feel like I wasted my time. If you want further review, go check out my last video because I really go in depth, but I could not recommend this to somebody personally. I know it's a very touchy subject and a lot of people either love it or you hate it. I'm kind of in the middle where I just thought it was okay. So personally, I don't recommend this, but if you love it, I understand why, and if you really don't like it, I also understand why. So that was my 7th book I read, and then the 8th and final book that I read in January was also on my Kindle, and it was Juniper Hill by Devney Perry. This is the 2nd book in the Edens series. I once again loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. The series is so good. I love the found family. I love Devney Perry's writing is just so amazing, and I don't think I could recommend a series other than ACOTAR more than this one. It's just so good, so wholesome, small town, found family, good connections, good banter, good romance. It's just so good. And this one had a single parent trope, small town trope, and forced proximity. So I really loved it, and I cannot wait to continue reading the Eden series. So these are all of the books that I read for January 2023. I read 8 books and I loved almost every single one. We had one very big dud in there for me, which was Magnolia Parks, but I truly did love my reading month. 8 books is a lot for me, and I'm actually very proud of myself that I could read that many. So this is my little stack, and I can't wait to show you my February TBR. Okay, so now let's get into my February TBR. I picked 5 books, and I can't guarantee that these are the ones I'm going to read. I am a mood reader, so it kind of depends on what I'm feeling, but these are the ones I'm hoping to read. And granted, I could read less than the 5 or I could read more than the 5. There is one on there that I'm like kind of wanting to read, but we will just have to see. First one on my TBR, and you will notice there's a lot of romance in here because I am in the romance mood, especially because it's Valentine's Day this month. So the first book is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This is a very small read, and it's also a very cute cover. I got this in my book Shop With Me video, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But this one is, I believe, Best Friends to Enemies to Lovers. And I just think it sounds really good. It's really cute. I love the cover. Most of the time, I'm not into covers that look like this, but you know, it says, could you brave the wilderness with your highly suspicious and unfairly cute ex-best friend? How could you not want to read that? I mean, come on. So this one is on my TBR. The next one I am so excited about. It is X's and O's by Amy Leah. This one is a very new release. It just released a few weeks ago and I cannot wait to read it. This is from the Influencer series, and it says a romance novel obsessed social media influencer revisits her exes on her hunt for true love in this romantic comedy. So I believe Tara goes back to 10 of her exes and redates them to try and find her soulmate, and someone helps her, and instead she ends up falling in love with the guy who helps her. But it's literally based on a book, Influencer. God, I'm literally so excited to read this book. This is definitely going to be one of the top ones on my list for this month. She is a little bit thicker, but I don't feel like it's too thick for being a romance. It's just about 350 pages, but I love the cover. I love that it's based on a book influencer. Duh, I am a book influencer. And I'm just very excited to read this. The next one is the second in a series. This is Ricochet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the second book in the Addicted series. There is still a sticker on it. I will get the sticker off later, but this is the second in the Addicted series. I believe this is about when Lo is gone. He's not in this book. It's a shorter one, but my pre-order for Addicted for Now is supposed to be coming in March, so I figured since I read the first Addicted book in January, I'd read this one in February and then the next one in March. But like I said earlier, it's very hard to get your hands on these books, so you have to be kind of mindful of that. It's about Lily and Lo. Lily is a sex addict and Lo is an alcoholic, and it kind of shows them fighting their addictions to try and be better for themselves so that they can then be better as a couple. But very excited about this. I really did enjoy the first book, so I'm excited to continue the series and really find that found family and addiction to the series that everybody else has. The fourth book I would like to read in February is A Court of Wings and Ruin, or also known as ACOWAR. This is the third book in the ACOTAR series. Like I said earlier, I absolutely love the ACOTAR series. I'm obsessed with Rise. I love Feyre. I cannot wait to continue their story. I've been putting reading this off because I don't know what I'm going to do with myself once I finish the whole series, but I want to continue on. I'm very excited. I love the cover, and this series truly does have my heart. Sarah J. Maas is an absolute genius. This book is very, very thick. It is over 600 pages, but I nonetheless can't wait to continue reading the story of Rise and Feyre. The last book that is definitely on my TBR that I want to read is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This one was really, really popular a few months back, and I'm very excited to see what all the hype is about. This is a hockey player ice skater romance. I also believe it is enemies to lovers, forced proximity as well. So I'm very excited. It's a college romance, a sports romance, which are two of my favorite things. And I also love enemies to lovers. How could you not? So I'm very excited about this one. I feel like I'm going to really enjoy it. Also, the cover and the spine is just absolutely beautiful. I'm obsessed. So I'm very excited to read this one. So there are two other books that are possibilities. They are both Kindle reads for me. So the first one is the third book in the Edens series. I really am enjoying that series and I am excited to continue. I believe it is called Garnet Flats. I just really love Devney Perry's writing, and I really have fallen in love with the Eden series, so that one is a possibility on my TBR. And then the last one is Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. I have been dying to get my hands on this series. I don't know if I'm gonna order the paperback, but I feel like I should read it on my Kindle, and then if I love it, I'll order the paperback version. But I've heard amazing things about Sophie Lark's writing, and I've also heard really good things about the, I believe it's Brutal Birthright. I think that is the series that Brutal Prince is in. But I've heard really good things about those books and her writing, and I cannot wait to dip my toe into the author and that series as a whole. I believe it's a mafia romance series, which is something I've never read before, so I'm kind of excited to see what that's all about. So that is my February TBR stack. It is 5 very much so hopefullys and then 2 possiblies, but I am gonna do my very best to read as much as possible. I had a little extra time on my hands at the beginning of January and February, not so much. I'm working a lot and school has really picked up and it is in full swing, so I'm gonna do my best to read as much as possible, but we will have to find out at the end of the month to see what I actually get through. So thank you so much for watching this video and hanging out with me. Let me know down below what you finished in January and what you're hoping to read in February. Let me know if there's any books you think I should add to the list. And I wanted to say a quick thank you for all the love my channel has been getting recently. I love each and every one of you, and I appreciate all of you so much. I just can't wait to continue this journey and see where this year takes us. So with all that being said, make sure you check out all my socials down below, my Amazon wishlist and my Goodreads. Like, comment, subscribe to my face, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!